I'm Logan Crawford, and right now on GBN, we're joined by an amazing author. Her name is Judy C. and she is out with a powerful new book. It is called Bouncing Back into Sacred Ecstasy. This inspiring, faith-filled journey reveals how life's greatest trials are often divine training grounds designed to awaken healing, purpose, and joy. With honesty, hope, and practical activation exercises, Judy shows how you can rise from devastation into abundance in health, wholeness, and spiritual freedom. We're delighted to have this very talented author join us here today. We thank the team at Atticus Publishing for helping us put her on TV today, and we ask viewers like you to support authors like her by subscribing to our channel and by purchasing her amazing book. The links are below this interview. Judy, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Oh, thank you. Such a warm welcome and such an honor to be here. Thank you so much. Such
Oh,
an
you're
honor.
very welcomed, and it's such an honor to have you on the show. You've done great work with this book. Let me start out by asking you a question that some of our viewers might have, which is, what does sacred ecstasy mean, and how did you discover it?
Okay, it means to have your mind blown. We just go on every day experiencing the normal, and then some days we get our minds blown by the love and this overwhelming. You get this overwhelming experience with the divine. And I was actually reading, I don't remember which scripture it was, but I looked at the word, and the word meant ecstasy. And so I thought, I heard in my spirit that that was to be the name of the book. Because I didn't have a name for the book yet.
Yeah, gotcha.
Bouncing back was it.
Wonderful. Well, it's catchy and it's good. And I guess it really is a great way to express a great connection or a close connection and a life changing connection with the creator, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely. Absolutely. Let's talk
Yes.
about other parts of the inspiration behind this book. How did life's greatest hardships become your greatest preparation?
Wow. I'm not going to cry, I promise. um, of course, I was an aerobics instructor, and I was a trainer, and I was a physical therapist assistant, and I was always training people, and I was always training myself, always. And so, and I had this beautiful relationship with the Lord and in ministry, and I thought I was totally protected. I thought no harm would come to me, or my family. And then the greatest tragedy, I was working at a free physical therapy clinic. We were working for the Ministry of the Poor, and we were doing free physical therapy. And I came home one day from that particular clinic, and my son had been very ill. And I found him, and he had taken his life. And so that's in my book, Triumph Over Tragedy.
Yeah.
And that was the worst.
Yeah.
That is, I had to have supernatural intervention healing from that.
Yeah. Absolutely. I guess your faith helped you get through what is an unimaginably dark time, right?
Yeah. I would not have survived otherwise.
Yeah. Was part of you angry at God? I mean, some people say they're angry at first because how could you let this happen? That kind of thing.
I wasn't angry at God. I was angry at the way I had believed,
Hmm.
that I was under this divine protection.
Mm.
And so I was hurt, extremely hurt.
Yeah.
But I had a very strengthening experience before I went to this to to my son's body. I had a very, very supernatural strengthening experience to be able to endure that. So
Absolutely.
that protected me and kept me grounded
Yeah.
and safe and secure in my faith.
Yeah. Absolutely. Talk to us a little bit about our divine identity and understanding it and why it's so critical to healing.
Oh goodness. It's amazing because we really do what I have come to learn after
Mm.
all of the tragedies and the traumas and the diseases um, is that we do have a divine identity. I didn't know this prior to the tragedies and the traumas and the diagnosis. And then I joined groups of healing back in 2019 when COVID was taking so many lives. And so the divine identity, we really come to the planet with a divine identity, but because of everyday stuff, we lose that.
Yeah.
And then we rediscover it, which was what I
Yeah.
was talking about in the book. And
Yeah.
the way that there's a minister out right now. Can I mention another
Sure.
minister's name on here?
Absolutely.
Jamie Winship,
Hmm.
Winship. Right now, he is really the voice on divine identity right now.
Hmm.
But I didn't know it. I didn't know his trainings when I wrote the book.
Yeah.
So, but how we stepped into divine identity, do you want to hear about
Sure.
one of,
Absolutely.
okay, um, how we step into our divine, and we get a little help from our friends, if you want to
Right.
call it getting help from your friends.
Yeah.
So there's what you do is you find four of your closest friends,
Hmm.
family, those that know you intimately. They know
Hmm.
you when you lose it. They know
Yeah.
you when you are not all that,
Hmm.
when you're not your spiritual self. And they see you at your worst and they see you at your best.
Hmm.
So I asked co-worker I had worked with for 15 years, who saw me every day, saw the real me in the work world, and really the real me. And then he
Hmm.
and I were working in that free clinic together as well. He was a therapist. And of course, I had to ask my husband.
Hmm. Yeah.
Some of the closest friends in 2019 in the training that I was with,
Mm.
and some of the prophetic words spoken into my life over time confirmed what the four friends said. So you ask the four friends to give you four words to describe who you are, you know. So, and then you take those four words or 16 words and you bring them down into the your three most common so light, everybody kept talking about, well, you carry this light. You just, this light seems to attract. You just have this light. And I had a prophetic word about me carrying light in a really dark place. Um, and another thing was love. And that one came from the one I didn't expect. It came from my coworker. I mean, you don't want to, it was love. And it's like, well, you just love people easily. You love, you just love. And I thought,
Hmm.
oh, I didn't know that. That's just who you are.
Yep.
And joy. Now, I did
Mm.
receive a spiritual, supernatural impartation of the spirit of joy. That was a physical thing that happened.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing. And wonderful to get such great feedback from people around you. And I concur. I think all those words do fit. So they
Oh,
were
thank
good.
you.
They were good analysts there. Let's talk a
Thank
little
you.
bit about how trauma and tragedy become catalysts for transformation.
Wow. Oh, goodness gracious. The transformation will take place on a spiritual level if you allow it,
Mm.
if you welcome it, if you open yourself to it. Um, writing the book was a big transformation for me. And I mentioned 2019 because I did experience the death of my son in 2014. And then in 2019, I got a death sentence of stage 4 ovarian cancer with metastatic disease. And so 2019, I started the journey of chemo, and I was bald and all of that.
Yeah.
So, and I was isolated because of the chemo, and then we were further isolated because of COVID.
Right.
So I joined this group, Prophetic Heart Healing, and transformation requires community, of like-minded believers. And that was huge for me. And inner heart healing, I don't know, I hope some of the audience is familiar with inner heart healing, but that was extremely important for me to heal and transform from all the trauma, the disease, and my son that took his life had a twin brother, and he was not recovering well from his twin brothers. His story is in the book.
Yeah.
So while walking my journey of death, he was walking, I was trying to save him because he was had this death journey he was on, and he did end up dying in 2023. But you have to know somewhere deep within you that transformation is happening.
Yeah.
And that you're enduring this with purpose, and that it's part of your destiny, and that maybe you came to the planet. Some people believe, like we when we come to the planet, that we agree to certain things. And so that was a little bit of my journey, was transforming my mind. The scripture that says the transforming of your mind. Don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Let's talk about the 9 activation exercises and the concept behind them.
Okay. Well, being a trainer, I loved being an aerobics instructor. Also, when I got the cancer diagnosis, I wasn't going to do chemo. I was just going to die. But my husband says, well, you've trained for this all your life, because I was telling the oncologist why I should not have the diagnosis. Anyway, yeah. And so it just seemed fit that you have to have strategy. You have to have a strategy to make it. Sorry. I was a little sad there for a moment.
I can imagine.
But the activation exercises, I really want people to get involved. I really want people to put action behind what they believe, and to really train, to seek out inner heart healing, to do the breathing exercises, walk every day. You may be sick and you may have bad days, but you've got good days. So on those good days, do something that's going to bring life to you, And so that's part of the activation exercises, and the worship and the praise. That's our first call. We are image-bearing worshipers. And I believe that's our first call. And that was my first call of action after we went to Grief Share after the death of Shannon in 2014. And my first call of that, I had already been a worshiper, but I didn't lay it aside after he died. Actually, I danced I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
finding his body and then them taking him away, I danced in the street that night. I just turned the
Mm.
volume up on my little car. I tell it about that in
Mm.
the book, and I just danced.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? What else you going
Right.
to do, right? You
Right.
just
Right.
dance it to the worship music. It was worship music.
Yeah.
And then I did this is a strategy I talk about, is make a video of yourself worshiping.
Mm.
And because it's a testimony.
Yeah.
And you go into prayer, and the Holy Spirit will send you the perfect song, will
Hmm.
send you the perfect whatever you're going to dress in.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I did that at the death site of my son.
Right.
And it was outside, so it was okay. But then I
Mm.
was able to use that praise and worship as a testimony later on. So there's a lot to activate yourself
Right.
in these strategies.
Give us an example of one of the activation exercises, if you would.
Um, okay, let's see. We've talked about the I am, finding the
Uh-huh.
four friends.
Right.
That's one of them. Your
Okay.
I am statement. Um, the other one, oh, this is a good one. I love this one.
Okay.
It's called SEEC,
Hmm.
and it's significant emotional experiences.
Hmm.
SEE. And what you do is you look back at your life uh, and look. I kind of looked at the worst first,
Yeah.
and I looked at the valleys, like the lowest, and when I started making major mistakes in my
Hmm.
life,
Yeah.
and started down that road of wrong actions and just wrong.
Yeah.
And you get all of that, and you can put it in decades or however you want to put it,
Hmm.
but then you write down those negative experiences,
Right.
okay, through your life up to the point, and then you go back and look at your most positive experiences, and those are when you're up on the mountaintop. You're
Hmm.
up on the mountain, and um, you do that. Like I say, you can do it in decades. Your first 10 years, second 20 years, 30 years,
Hmm.
and you write down words. You write down a sentence. Like, for example, in my negatives, I was devastated, I was betrayed, I was discredited, dishonored, um, scared, So you write down those descriptive emotions that you were experiencing. And then you look back at the positives. And I had, like, I was a beauty queen, and so I was surprised to be voted beauty queen. I was excited to
Hmm.
be, you know, at those to be honored at a lot of things. So you write down all those positives, and so when you look at your mountains and your valleys, and you look to
Hmm.
see the people you can help are the
Hmm.
ones that have been in the lowest places, like you've been, the ones that have been devastated, the ones that have been betrayed, the ones that have been discredited. And how you help them is by the person that you are, the excited one, and that's who you help them to become.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. What's your best advice to someone who is going through a trauma or a tragedy right now, and they need hope, they need healing, they need comfort?
Wow.
I mean, would you say prayer? Would you say talk to a clergy member, talk to a family
Um,
member?
what we did, we immediately went to this group called Grief Share.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know how we knew about Grief Share. I don't know how somebody introduced us. That was extremely important,
Hmm.
was to find a community of people that were traumatized like you are. and my
Hmm.
husband went with me, and we were in that community, and they had never had anyone from suicide come into their group
Mm.
because we're kind of a different class.
Right.
We're different. We Yeah,
Yeah.
we're different. We wear a different badge.
Yeah.
Um, and so, but I think we were there because, like, in the second week, another lady came in that had
Mhm.
lost her son to suicide.
Mm.
So, that's something that God does. He brings people in, but that was real, that was very supportive. Um, and it was in a beautiful church setting, and the people were just the people that did the group had lost children. It was just people that, and you shared. It truly was a time of sharing. So do not isolate. And that's the first thing you really want to do is you want to isolate. You want to, and I ran, like I say in my book, because you're either in fight or flight, right?
Right.
And so I didn't have anybody to fight.
Right.
So I ran, and I just
Yeah.
ran until I ran into my own healing.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing. Well, thank goodness you had the running to distract you and to keep you physically strong as well during your times of emotional hardship. How's your husband doing? I mean, men and women process things differently. I'm sure the loss of your son has hit him very hard as well.
Yes, it was. He's a stepson,
Mhm.
so it was a little bit different, but still the same because he had been. My husband has been in my life, and I think my sons were like 17 when he came into my life,
Right.
and but he's very sensitive.
Yeah.
My husband, he's just a sensitive. He's just one of those unique, sensitive beings,
Mhm.
and he's he has me laughing every single day.
Wonderful.
He loves to he his coping skill is laughter and comedic
Mhm.
activity.
Right,
So
right. So that's
he
his
likes
distraction for you
that's
to
his
make you
distraction
laugh
to
and raise your spirits a little bit,
yeah, to
right?
be the
Yeah.
comedian. But he was devastated, and
Yeah.
the grief share was really important for both of us. And of course, he has his own unique spiritual journey,
Mm.
and he writes praise songs, and um, so he's unique. He plays the guitar, and
Wow.
so he has his own way of coping. And
Right.
and
Yeah.
he's so unique. Thank you for asking about
Oh,
him.
sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Is this your first time writing a book?
It is.
And what was that experience like? What was it like putting down all of these steps, reliving some of the painful
Oh,
times and so forth?
I was actually in my holistic treatment here in Clearwater. I was away from Tennessee, which was where all the trauma was.
Hmm.
All the trauma right in my front door. Basically right in our right. All the trauma's there.
Right.
So when I was down here in Florida, I could get clarity, and
Hmm.
I was in LifeWorks Wellness. I was getting my body rebuilt.
Mm.
It's a holistic treatment, but the first thing they had to do was clean my body up from
Mm.
all the old chemo, the mold, the toxins that I'd been exposed to.
Hmm.
So I was getting clarity from
Hmm.
this new healthcare journey
Hmm.
that I was on. And so I would sit in the sun every morning and just write.
Hmm.
And I think, a lot of writers say this, and it's sometimes you don't think you've written the book, but it's like a source outside of you is
Yeah.
helping you write the book. And then you're surprised that you wrote the book.
And then sometimes even forget what's in the book
Yeah,
because you're kind of writing it in like a trance-like state, and it's really coming to you through inspiration. And after you've written the book and it's sat there for a while, it's like, I don't remember what was in chapter 17.
yeah.
have to
Wow.
refresh myself. That's a common thing. But you're right,
Yeah.
you kind of get lost in the process of writing and the words just kind of flow. Let me ask you this.
Yes.
What type of mindset shifts would you say are essential for lasting transformation?
Um, Goodness gracious. Of course, you got to stay in the word.
Hmm.
You have to stay in the word. You have to,
Yeah.
because your mind is literally being transformed by your thinking
Yep.
and your heart. And you can't let go. You just cannot let go of that.
Right.
And, actually rereading my book has helped me stay centered as well, because I continue to fight the cancer, and it's discouraging. It's discouraging. So I had to reread my story again.
Exactly, exactly. You need your own pep talk at times, I'm sure, to keep on going and finding the strength. But you seem like you have a lot of energy. You have that light that the people around you have spotted. So it looks like you're doing well, thank goodness. And talk to us about creating abundant health and wealth. What does that look like in practical terms? And how do you
Okay.
feel that taking the steps that you outline will actually result in that?
Okay. Thank you for asking that question,
Yeah.
because I really love this part. Um, in 2019, I was part of an international 100X Kingdom expansion course with with thousands of other people, and a lot of those concepts really found a foundation for me and my husband as well. So what we have done is, at our age, we call it redistribution of our resources. And we've been able, this is beautiful. In our Tennessee home, we've got like 30 acres, parts of it's just mountainside. But we've been able to transfer the wealth that we had with homes that we had up there to our oldest grandchild. My husband had a home before we married, and so that home, that redistribution of wealth, has gone to his oldest granddaughter, and the property that uh, we call it the cabin. It's on the mountaintop. I discuss it in the book. The cabin is like 180 years old. It's
Wow.
pre-Civil War. Yeah,
Wow.
it's a beautiful, beautiful place. And my daughter and son-in-law, they helped take care of the property. But we were able, uh, and it's rental property there. I did rent it VRBO. But anyway, yeah. And then my oldest granddaughter and her fiance, we've been able to pass that redistribution of wealth onto them, but we still get to go home and stay.
Wonderful. Well, that's the best of both worlds. You've done something good, but you still get to enjoy it yourself as well and enjoy their company as well, too, which I
Oh,
think is
yes,
probably the best
yes.
part of it.
Oh, yes.
Wonderful.
I have to give credit for the joy in my life to my daughter and my grandchildren, and Alicia, and their names are Alicia and Sunny.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Yep, though that's the best part of life, without a doubt. And this book is wonderful. It is called Bouncing Back into Sacred Ecstasy, 9 activation exercises for becoming abundant in health and wealth. You've trained for this all your life. It is written by JudyCLiming, and it is a book you will just cherish, and it'll help nurture your soul. Judy, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
I
Thank you
appreciate your
so much,
time.
Logan.
Absolutely. I appreciate your time, your
Thank
insight, and
you.
the wonderful work you've done on this book. To the folks at home, I'm Logan Crawford for the Global Book Network. So long for now.